Step 1 is often overlooked, but it is the most important step, and that is the spine test. The purpose of this test is to see if you can balance your spine in the bent over position without any resistance. If you can keep your spine straight when bending down, then you're well set to add resistance and move on to the next step. However, if you cannot keep your spine straight and your lower back is rounding, then you need to work on your core strength and your mobility before performing this exercise with resistance. Exercises such as the rack pull would be a great starting point, but more on this later. The second step is your foot position. Walk up to the bar and keep your shins a couple of centimeters away from touching the bar. When viewed from above, the bar should dissect your feet in half. Keep your feet shoulder width apart and your toes pointing forwards. Avoid pointing your toes outward or inward because this will affect your stability when attempting to lift the weight. Your femur or your thigh and your tibia or your shin bone should form almost a 90-degree angle when viewed from the side. You don't want to go too low to the point where you're crouching down because this will add unnecessary work when attempting to lift. I recommend keeping your hands slightly wider than your shoulders and just outside your shins. Make sure that your shoulders, your elbows and your wrist are stacked in a straight line rather than having your wrists and elbows in front of your shoulders. Sink down and lean slightly back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. An easy way to remember this is looking forward and keeping your eyes on an object in front of you. Avoid rounding your shoulders and looking down. Doing this will round your spine and put strain on your lower back. Your entire body at this point should feel stiff and rigid. You should feel tension throughout your body, especially on your hamstrings, your glutes and your back. I like to tell my clients to imagine pushing down on the ground rather than pulling the bar off the ground. The reason for this is we want to drive off the ground using our lower body for more power. Then, as soon as we are halfway through the motion, we want to thrust our hips forward and use our upper body to complete the entire movement. What you want to do is avoid excessively arching your back at the top of the movement or sticking your butt out and not reaching full range of motion. Some common mistakes that I often see is not hinging back when reaching down for the bar. This always leads to a rounded spine. Having a grip that is too wide or too close, placing the bar too far in front of your shins, not squeezing your shoulder blades together and rounding your back, hyperextending at the top of the movement, wearing running shoes. This will affect your stability. I recommend wearing shoes that have a low sole such as All Stars or Vans, or you can simply do this exercise barefooted. The most common grip is the conventional grip where both your hands are tightly over the bar and your thumbs are over your fingers. But as you increase the weight, you can switch to an alternate grip where one hand is over the bar and the other hand is under the bar. Or you can use an Olympic grip where you place your thumb under your index finger and grab the bar tightly. If you are a beginner, I do not recommend jumping straight to the conventional deadlift, but doing regression exercises. The first exercise I recommend is the rack pull, where there is very little tension placed on the lower back. Once your core and lower back are much stronger, you can move on to doing this exercise on the floor with plates placed under the bar. From there, you can progress to doing the exercise with dumbbells from the floor. And then once you master that, you can start doing the exercise from the floor.